Welcome back. Today on the podcast, we have fellow YouTuber Beewinns. Come check it out. Thanks again so much for being here. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, Dustin, thanks for having me on. I appreciate that you get to give me my first podcast experience. So thank you again.
Awesome. That's awesome, man. It's crazy that, that you haven't done one of these yet.
Yeah, I just haven't got around to it. I've just been making a bunch of recipe videos and kind of having just a one-track mind on that. And I want to slowly expand, and this is probably my first step of doing that.
Speaking of your videos, what drew me to your videos was the street food aspect. It was awesome. How did you land on that?
So I consider myself a foodie. I love food. Before I did keto, I would go to other cities, go to other states sometimes, and just grab a bite to eat. And when I started doing keto, I noticed there wasn't a lot of Asian food, especially a lot of Asian street food. I just want to share my keto recipes with everyone else. Keto, it's so strange. A lot of people do it for weight loss or health, but the reason why I stay on keto is for the mental aspect. It's just so nice not to have those peaks and valleys of energy throughout the day. It's just steady, calm energy from morning to night. And I'm pretty sure that's how you feel too on keto, and that's maybe one of the reasons why you keep doing it.
Oh yeah, because I've been doing this 5 years now. So really came for the weight loss, stayed for everything else. That mental clarity is huge.
Totally, man, totally. Yeah, so you've been doing it for 5 years now, 5 years straight.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I was curious how long you've been doing it and how you found it.
So I've been doing it for a few years now too, maybe 4 years, but totally on and off. When I first started it, I did it for 3 months straight, strict keto, no carbs whatsoever, the textbook way of doing it, right? But then 3 months along the lines, kind of lifestyle gets in the way. All the buddies want to go drinking or going to concerts or getting a burrito, and eventually I just stopped or went on and off, right? So within the past year and a half, I discovered cyclical keto. So what I do now is that I do 4 days of keto and then 1 day of a cheat day. And that's giving me great results.
How do you find that works? How does that, how do you feel doing that? I know if I have a big mess up day or a cheat day, depending on what we eat, sometimes it'll hit me hard and I'll feel really bad. Is that something you find, or are you finding that you found a good, a metabolic flexibility in what you're doing?
Yeah, I feel like I have a good metabolic flexibility. When I do my cheat day, I can bounce back real quick. The very next day, it's normal. Keto is normal. But I do got to admit, the day that I cheat, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling kind of crappy throughout the day. I take a nap or two. But I just line it up with my lifestyle. If someone wants to go out and get a drink, I'll do it only on my cheat day. I'll never do it on a keto day. And I feel like it's kind of balanced out my life. And also, for some strange reason, I got really lean doing this. I'm not sure if it's my own body or if it's my lifestyle now, because I do work out a lot. But by doing cyclical keto, I felt like I would maintain a lot of muscle, but also just lean down. I can't say it's the same for everyone, but it worked for me like that.
Yeah, I saw you looked a little shredded.
Yeah.
And some of the pictures on Instagram, yeah. I was like, wow, he's in shape.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do try to work out too, but I worked out before this a cyclical keto thing, but staying on track just helped me. I would do keto on and off before, but there was no routine. Maybe I'll do keto for a day and then I'll mess up a day, and then I'll do keto for 5 days and I'll mess up for 2 weeks. But now with the structure, I think my body just knows what to do, what's coming, when to put where, and how to manage my body.
I think that's very important. I think that's huge when someone is taking on a lifestyle shift. So, and we talk about this every once in a while, where if you're going to be successful in a lifestyle shift, you have to make sure it fits you and not you try to cram yourself into the lifestyle, right? So someone like me who came to it for weight loss, just a small, quick background. In 2016, I started keto because I was over 400 pounds. So so that was huge for me. I needed to have surgery, needed to lose weight to have the hernia surgery. Was able to knock down about 30 pounds before the surgery. So I was able to get out of the 400 pound range into the high threes. But, and since then we've got, I've got down to, like the high twos. Like the lowest I've gotten so far was 275. So.
Dude, that's awesome. So did you end up getting the surgery?
Oh yeah. I had the surgery in August of 2016.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
And then you just kept on keto ever since then. Right on. Yeah, I was listening to your prior podcast, and you mentioned something about an extended fast. I think you did like a month or something like that.
Yeah, I did 21 days at the beginning of this year. So from January 2nd through the 22nd.
And did you supplement with anything, or did you just do straight water? What was your method of doing that?
I did water and electrolytes. So magnesium, potassium, sodium.
That's very cool. I wanted to get your advice on that, actually, because I did a 36-hour fast 2 weeks ago. First time doing it that long, and I felt like had a lot of energy. Was that kind of how you felt when you did your 21-day fast? 21
days is a little bit different. So, I mean, you feel good. You feel light on your feet. I never had like a super amount of energy, but like towards the end, we were having like flooring installed in our house, and we were basically moving one floor of the house to the next floor, and then moving it all back down again to get we had like vinyl plank flooring put in the downstairs. So we had to move everything from the living room into the garage upstairs. And then we were having the new carpet put upstairs. So we had to move everything upstairs. That wore me out. It probably wouldn't have been as bad if I wasn't fasting, but I stuck with it, and I didn't break the fast just for that. Because that was a bucket list fast for me. I don't know if I'll do that again. Yeah. I think those real short ones. So like I've done like 48-hour fasts. I think those kind of fasts, the shorter ones, like, 24, 36, 48 for me, I find are very invigorating. When you get into like the 7-day, the 14-day and beyond, because you're doing it for like autophagy, you're doing it for like a body reset, so to speak. I find that at first it's very energizing, and I don't ever feel really tired. I don't ever feel run down unless we're doing things like moving our entire house. So I think I usually have pretty good energy unless I'm doing something extremely energy like demanding, I guess. If that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Were you working out during those 21 days, or was it just a fast that you were doing?
Just a fast, because I don't really work out. I need to start because I think I should move more, especially now that everything's moved home and I don't go anywhere anymore except maybe to Walmart.
Yeah.
I don't do anything anymore. So I really need to start. Like, I got a jump rope, so I've started that. But I did one day a jump rope, and I was doing it barefoot the other day. And I was the first and only day I've done it. But like I was doing it barefoot, and when I would mess up, because I'm 41 years old. So I haven't done jump rope since I was like 12. Give or take, right? So, man, I'm a big dude. So getting that jump rope going, and I get it going, and I'm like, all right. And then like would hit my feet, and it would hurt so bad.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like a heavy jump rope, like that heavy rubbery, plasticky kind of material. Hit your feet like 2 or 3 times with that. I had to go sit down and just like it hurts so bad.
Yeah, I mean, jump ropes is totally a technique to it. I haven't mastered that technique yet, but I'm working on it. Yeah, so since the pandemic started, like all the gyms closed. So I think that's when I took keto super seriously and also worked out more seriously. But the workouts I did were all home, like bootleg workouts, right? I'd had a 25-pound dumbbell, I had some running shoes and a pull-up bar. And I don't think I posted a before and after photo of my results, but all of my like leanness and definition came from just home workouts and the keto diet. So what I did was I just ran a lot. I had the streets. I would just run the streets, and then I'd really put in those dumbbells to work. Like those 25 dumbbells turned into kettlebells. They turned into everything. I would do home workouts all day, every day, and I think just that itself is what got me there. So I think anyone can do this, like I think even with a jump rope, I think you can be like Goody Beats,
Oh,
you could probably find a workout like tying your rope to a wall and doing like, I don't know, dumbbell curls or like rope curls with them, it's out there, and someone's probably made a YouTube video on it. That's why I love YouTube. I love finding channels like yours and seeing what other people are doing right now to get in shape and get healthy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Like I said, one day in a message to you, as like, when I'm searching through YouTube, you think you've seen it all. Like you found all the keto YouTube channels there are. And then yours came up with like the Korean street food. And I'm like, oh, that's what I need. Cause I'll tell you, because when I was fasting those 21 days, I would watch these like Korean, like street food YouTube videos, like the real ones, not keto ones, and watch them just for like an hour and watch them make like street food. I'm like, and you just sit there, just stare at it. Yeah.
What is it called? Are you is that masochist or sadist?
I don't know what it is, but I mean, it helped me. Like I would watch that, and I don't know if you know who Randy Santel is.
No, I haven't heard of him.
He's like 6'5", 6'6" or some giant dude, and he does these food challenges where he eats like it's like what he does for a living, and he'll eat like 6, 7, 8 pounds of food in a sitting every day.
Man.
And I would just watch because he puts out content like 4 or 5 plus videos a week. So it was just a consistent stream of his videos when I'm fasting and I'm sitting there watching it. And my wife's like, "You're disgusting." She's like, I don't understand how you're watching that video of that man eating all that food. And I'm like, you don't understand.
So what does he look like? Is he like a bigger guy? Is he in shape? Is he a twig?
He's like a bodybuilding. He's a bigger bodybuilder guy. He's like, his motto's like eat to lift. So nice. I think, he gets big when he's like on the circuit of all this, because his channel, he's got like over 1 million subs. So he makes pretty good money eating for a living.
That's awesome. Have you heard of a Furious Pete before? I'm not sure if he's still doing stuff, but he's also a bodybuilder, also a competitive eater. And he once mentioned that like you take all that food in and most of it comes out looking like how it came in. So I think like 80% of the food isn't even digested. It just goes in and out, I think it's kind of the body adapting and knowing, hey man, this guy's a psycho. He's gonna bombard us with 100 hot dogs. He's gonna
yeah. I mean, a lot of those competitive eaters who do it like once or twice a year, like the guys who do like the Nathan's hot dog one or like some of the big wing challenge ones. But I don't know how it would be like if you're doing it every day. Like I know his videos come in handy when I'm doing a fast, but and I mean, I don't really watch him too much outside of that either. So like, I don't go and watch like the street vendor videos or his videos until I'm fasted. And then I'm like, oh, well, that's good. Yeah. But it's like weird because I'll get ideas for videos. Yeah. Like, I'm going to make this and I'm going to turn that into a video.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how do you come up with your recipe ideas? Do you just look at stuff and you go like, oh, I'm gonna ketovify that. I'm gonna turn that keto. I'm gonna try to put my spin on it. Is that what you do?
Yeah, I think, I do that a lot. I do that. Like, what does my wife want? What do I want to eat? What does,
Hmm.
because we only have one kid left with us right now. So the other two have moved out. So
Hmm.
I was talking about making the chicken nugget video which is like one of my newest videos I just put out this week is the chicken nugget video. And I was like, okay, that's something I don't see too much on the internet. I don't see a ton of chicken nugget videos with keto. And my son was like, you need to do dino nuggies. And
Man.
we ordered the molds on Amazon and threw them in there. So I
Yeah, I've
mean,
been meaning to try your cauliflower hash brown recipe. That looked amazing, man. I want to maybe put like a McDonald's spin on it or something. Try to get it similar to McDonald's. Their hash browns. Those are like some of my favorites. So
I don't know, you might
totally
want to try using, like, for theirs, you might want to try a little nutritional yeast, maybe.
nutritional yeast. Oh yeah, I'll try it out. I haven't cooked with it yet. Any advice on that?
Yeah, I've not used it either, but I know people use it to make like when they're making jicama fries and stuff.
Mm-hmm,
They'll
mm-hmm.
dip them in the nutritional yeast and bake them or fry them. So I figure that might be a way to kind of get that extra like crispy texture on them, because those McDonald's ones, they're weird too. There's not a lot of extra stuff. I think there's some starch in there too outside of the potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they have a weird shape for sure. I was thinking about making something like that, but I didn't see any molds that easy. So that's
Yeah.
why,
Isn't
yeah.
it funny how each of these keto recipes are like a chemistry project? Like, I can't tell you how much almond flour I've wasted, how much xanthan gum goes into the trash, and I try to eat everything, but a lot of it just like tastes like shit, pretty much. Until
Yeah.
I figure out the right
The other
recipe.
day, I was trying to make this, I was trying to make um, battered shrimp and battered cheese curds. So I whipped
Mhm.
up, I took like an 8.5 ounce bag of pork rinds and grind them all down. And then I added like a dozen eggs to it, trying to get it to be thin and
Mhm.
like batter like, but it just kept getting so thick I couldn't dredge the shrimp in it, and like it was, and the shrimp wouldn't stick to it. So I guess I've got to do where you dip it in the egg, put it in like, and then dip it into the pork rinds and then throw it in the fryer. That's probably the only way I'm going to be able to do it. But then I
Yeah.
had this huge mixing bowl of this batter, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
It was like, a dozen eggs and a big bag of Walmart pork rinds. Like, what am I
Oh,
gonna? So
no,
I
I
just
feel that. I feel the pain, man.
I didn't want to throw it away, and then I had all this raw shrimp too, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do? And I'm sitting there because I had filmed like 2 half videos. I was like trying to film like the cheese curd and the shrimp video at the same time, and then
Mhm.
it all fell apart. So I've just got this footage sitting there that's totally unusable. And then I just
Yeah.
take this, and then I was like, just scooped it into my molds,
Yeah.
and then I just put the shrimp on top of it, and then it came out like these little shrimp puffs, and I was like, oh, and those were awesome.
Yeah.
So so
I hope your story inspires people to appreciate your efforts. All the YouTubers making all these recipes for people. I hope people like more highly appreciate you and everyone else cooking, because sometimes I get comments saying, "Oh, you just put on protein powder and threw it in the air fryer." I'm like, "Yeah, but I also put 10 other different things on it beforehand, and even though the recipe's simple, it took a while to get there."
oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, so before keto, I didn't do all the cooking in the house. My wife did
Mhm.
when because she can cook with flour and she can make whatever she wants, and it all works perfect. We went keto and she's a total disaster in the kitchen. And I'm like,
Mhm.
and I'm just like, okay, well, we're going to do this. And I don't understand how you get that all to work. I can't make that stuff work. So she got mad, and I do like 90% of the cooking now.
Yeah.
And
No, same
so
here.
making
Same here. I cook all my
cakes.
most of my girlfriend's food too.
So I mean, it's just one. I mean, the back end is kind of crazy. Like when then like the videos come out, they're polished, they're cut, they're edited, everything looks okay. I don't think I had a respect for what goes into YouTube videos until I started making them on it. You know, now I look at
Oh,
some of the
same.
bigger production videos, like, you know, like food theory videos or whatever. I'm like, man, that just, of course, he's got like a team of people, but
Oh yeah, dude, this is a full-time job. Like all the platforms, like posting one thing a day on even Instagram, freaking full-time job. So I'm just trying to like parse more time towards all this creative social media stuff and trying to back away from other things right now. But yeah, man, I totally appreciate every creator out there and how hard they work. They're insane, like to make this their lifestyle.
like I was doing Instagram for a long time. I started Instagram shortly after, or at least my keto Instagram shortly after starting keto. Started my Twitter shortly after. And the Twitter just kind of blew up for some weird reason. Like over 6,000 followers without any real effort. I would just look at it every day and have like 100 new followers. I'm like, where does it even come from? I'm not posting every day. I'm just like retweeting stuff. And
Yeah,
the Instagram took a while. You know, I just hit 4,000 just this month.
dude, that's awesome.
That took a long time, but I mean, that's very fulfilling. And then I started the YouTube channel last year. I recorded my video and a buddy of mine edited it. I sent it to him and he edited it and put it up for me because I didn't know what I was doing with editing anything. I didn't know how to do any of this. And then his life got way too busy. So he only did one video for me. So my channel kind of set for a whole year. So that way, like this year, my resolution was that 21-day fast and to really kick off this channel. And I started just filming with my phone, editing with Vlog Now app on my phone. So I did everything with my phone, and I kind of got good with that, or at least proficient, if you will. And then I started, the problem that I had with my phone is my videos that I recorded with that, the focus would fade in and out.
Oh, okay.
No matter what I did, like if I was filming in my living room, it would pick up on my ceiling fan. So I would have to stop the ceiling fan and then it would still fade in and out. I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I went and bought a GoPro. And that's what I've been using now. But now with the GoPro, it doesn't make sense to do it on my phone. So I've been editing on my computer using DaVinci 17.
Okay, nice.
But it's really resource heavy. My computer like coughs and chokes and
yeah.
like,
No,
I
I
can't do
bought a
it.
whole new laptop for all this video editing. I needed more memory, more RAM. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw it down. Let's just do it. I got nothing else to spend money on. Everything's closed anyways. Let's just make videos and have fun with it. So so you mentioned you started like 5 years ago with keto.
Yeah.
What got you into it? What got you on the keto journey? How'd you even hear about it?
It started with the process of going to the doctor for the hernia surgery and stepping on that scale and being like, well, I'm over 400 pounds, 421 pounds. That hits you like a ton of bricks. And then we were talking about going low carb, but we didn't really even have an idea what that meant. We didn't even really know what a carb meant. Like, well, we'll cut out carbs. So we started going to the grocery store almost like date nights and spending like an hour and a half at the store looking through like each aisle and everything that we used to buy, everything that we used to think was healthy, just to look at the labels and go, okay, well, this is what we used to get. This is oats. That's got to be healthy. Wait, this is like 35 grams of carbs per serving. How's this healthy? How's this? This is really high carb. Quinoa, that's all carbs. Pasta's all carbs. Cereal, all this stuff that we used to buy thinking that we were doing good for ourselves, not low in carbs. So, I mean, there was that real awakening, I think, with that. And then, so like we really started low carb for the surgery. So we started the low carb, trying to cut as many carbs as we could. And that morphed into the keto at around September after it had my surgery, as I found I was looking for like low carb recipes, like low carb soup recipes. And there was so many, or I should say there wasn't as many sites as there are now for good recipes. And I kept coming across this, this website that was for epileptic people. And that was all like how strict keto is for epileptics. And I was like, oh, that's really weird and strict. Because they're like, even in like the ingredients list, they were like, watch out for this, but make sure you don't use this and use this. And I'm like, wow, that's really weird and strict. But what's this keto thing? I kept seeing keto and I was like, okay, well, I'll go to podcasts. And I found the 2 keto dudes and I binged them. It was like 50 some episodes when I found them, and I listened to them all. They're like an hour each. And I just was working and listening to them. And basically episode 1 with them was one of the hosts, his first week on keto. So you kind of followed his journey, and I was able to follow that and kind of start ourselves. So I got the wife on board. We went through the house. We emptied everything out of the house. So I know a lot of people don't necessarily do that, especially if they have kids or the people living in the house. Well, they were along for the ride, whether they liked it or not. So, because I had too much.
Kids are used to doing keto with you guys then?
They were. If they were at home, they were keto. Now they were, So the other, the older 2 don't necessarily do keto. They know the benefits and they know they should, and they talk about, oh, we're going to start keto on Monday. But they don't. And our youngest, who's 17, he understands the benefits of keto because he was really like kind of chubby, and then he like thinned out really like just crazy. The guy he played rugby and he was athletic and he could run. And then he got a little older and was around his siblings more once they moved out. And then like the food choices became more open to him. And we had less control over and so he pretty much gained a lot of his weight back, even though they all know, they've seen, the success that we've had. They understand the benefits, but I don't think they're in a place where they're really ready to commit. Not at like 21, 22 years old.
Oh yeah. I feel it. Like I committed pretty seriously to keto almost primarily because of the COVID pandemic. So I'm a respiratory therapist and I work in the hospital. And when COVID hit, I was freaking scared because we didn't know what it was. I was seeing all these videos on Italy and New York in the beginning, and I saw all of our supplies were running low, and I just knew, or I suspected, that I wouldn't have enough gear like N95 mask or PAPR shields or maybe even gowns or bunny suits, So I thought my only option was just to get healthy. And that's when I took keto super seriously. That along with the lack of drinking and partying and going out, kind of cemented keto for me. And now that things are kind of opening up already, I still don't go crazy. Like I'll go crazy on my cheat day. Like on my cheat day, I'll start off the cheat day with a box, like a dozen Krispy Kreme donuts, and then I might have a beer at the end of the day.
So you go all out.
It's and then that's just my beginning, and then I go for a burger, half a pizza, and I really go at it on my cheat day. And that's why I take my naps and I have my ups and downs throughout the day. But yeah, I feel like when you're young, it's pretty hard to stay on a diet or think long term about your health and or wanting to restrict your eating habits so much. But there's so much benefits, like the mental clarity, the productivity you can have on keto or low carb. It's phenomenal. Like I don't take naps on keto. I'm not sure if that's the same with you. Do you day sleep at all?
Well, that really depends, because a lot of my days, like I watch my granddaughter during the day, a couple days a week, and she takes naps. So when she takes a nap, I might sit back with her and I might doze off.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I think that's more because she runs me wild. So she's come on, Paul, let's go play in my room, Paul. Come on, let's go dance, let's jump, let's play. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah,
and then she's ready for a nap, and she'll zonk out, and I'll sit there with her, and then I might doze off, or I might not. I might get something done, like with social media and stuff on my phone. But there are days where I kind of feel like I want a nap, and I think that's just. But I don't feel like I used to, where I used to like almost always fall asleep when we watch TV. It's like when we would finally get sat down at the end of the night and go to watch like Game of Thrones or whatever, and I'd be like, just dozed off.
Oh yeah.
So I think with that, like my alertness throughout the day, I don't really need naps. I mean, I enjoy them, but I don't necessarily need them. Now you mentioned, so being a respiratory therapist, my wife's an RN. Yeah. So we dealt with the same thing. So we're in Indiana, you're in California, right?
That's correct. Yep. California.
Okay. So you guys locked down. Yeah. So you guys locked down way more than us. Okay. I mean, we still we still shut down. I mean, there was still, especially like mid last year, beginning like March, April, May. So we still saw some of it, but nothing like California. But in the beginning, we were scared too. So we would, take as much precautions as we could. She would come home from work. We would put all of her work clothes, wouldn't leave the garage. Excuse me. We would make sure all of her work clothes were in a bag. We would take the bag straight up to the laundry, put it in the laundry. She would, make sure she wasn't wearing anything from work. She even still to this day puts her phone in a Ziploc. I don't know I know that really does anything, but so her phone's not necessarily ever. So she takes the phone and puts it in a Ziploc before she leaves the house, and then doesn't take it out of the Ziploc till she gets home from work. So I don't know if that actually does anything or not, but I mean, we were trying to do whatever we could, right? Just to help, because none of us got it. We think she may have had it in the beginning before we knew what the symptoms were, because she went through that the winter time before everything locked down. She was like, I can't taste anything and I can't smell anything. Then she was asking people at work, have you heard any of these symptoms before? Anything like this? They're like, oh, we don't know what that is. So we didn't know. So she probably should have quarantined, but we just didn't know. Yeah. And then I was going to work because we didn't know. I mean, this was, November, December. I think it might've been December-ish, maybe January when she had that. It's a little fuzzy when it gets that far back. Right. But I worked in like an office building, a big office building in downtown, and we didn't know. And then when we started figuring it out, then we understood the comorbidities and everything that were really impacting people. Like it was people that were like 2.5 comorbidities were more likely to succumb to, issues and need to be need the respirator or whatever. Yep. But even at the beginning, we didn't know.
Yeah. So I mean, the precautions were great. I think now we realize it's still detrimental to some people, but I think it's hopefully people are coming around to the fact that you kind of have to take care of your body, because that helps out a lot. I just did it just to ensure that hey, I'm seeing a pattern at work. These type of people who are, let's say, overweight or older are working harder with COVID. So I'm just let's just get as ripped as possible. Let's take care of your body. Let's get all the vitamins and let's get this keto in. And I think it's so beneficial, because you protect yourself from a disease, right? And you get the mental benefits and you look good without a shirt. It's just it's just everything, man. I can't stop selling keto. I can't stop selling it. And I love what you're doing, because you're giving other people more options, more recipes. I would have never thought of keto dino nuggets, but I'm glad you're out there doing your thing,
And I'm glad you're doing the street food aspect, because I think there's a definite lack of that out. I mean, I know that there's a couple, there's the Keto Twins, I think is what they're called, or Keto Sisters or Keto Twins. And they do some Asian inspired food. I would like to see. Yeah.
Yeah, there's two, I think, cousins I follow, two Asian girls who do Asian food, keto Asian food. I think they're called the Keto Room. If anyone wants to check them out. But yeah, there's a lot of keto stuff out there. Not too much Asian food. So that's kind of where I like to focus my videos on, because I eat a ton of Asian food. So like what I usually do is I'll do an Asian dish for a recipe, and then I'll do like an American Western dish. You know, like today I released a burnt ends video.
Oh,
like
I saw that.
Oh, man, I love barbecue. It's my jam, man. Korean barbecue, American barbecue.
I didn't think to put the wood chips in the air fryer, man.
Yeah, you know, I thought I was gonna break my air fryer doing that. I had to watch it the whole time, make sure it didn't burn my house down, make sure it didn't explode. But yeah, just I soaked them in water, kind of like how you would do if you would smoke it regularly. And the water evaporated off the wood chips, hit the pork belly in the perfect way, and gave it a better taste. So I hope you try it out, or I hope anyone watching tries that out too.
I'm gonna try that. Because we love pork belly. Like now, did you get yours with the? I haven't got a chance to watch your video yet. I did see the pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, I put that one on Instagram. So all I did was put some wood chips under the tray. So as the air fryer would heat up, it would evaporate the air up, I believe, and then all the juices would kind of sizzle down, and I think that would evaporate too. I'm not an air fryer scientist, but I think that's what happened.
It sounds now. Since I didn't watch the video, did your pork belly? Did you get it from Costco, or did you get it from like an Asian market?
Costco. Yeah, Costco's
okay.
great.
Okay,
it's the one that's still raw, and they're not in the big slabs. They were already cut long ways, like bacon, and like an inch thick at the top.
Yeah.
So all I did was I cut it 1 inch by 1 inch, and then threw it in the air fryer, and then magic happened. The air fryer is so sick. I love that thing. I
wish it wasn't so big, because we had to keep mine in the garage if we're not using it, just because it takes up so much space, and it's heavy to move around.
It is, man. Yeah, you sound like you got like a heavy duty one. I got like a small petite one, but I also used my girlfriend's humongous one. Like I did one slab for the video, and then I took out her heavy duty one for the rest of them. But it sounds like you have the heavy duty one.
Yeah, we got the big Ninja one that's also like an Instant Pot too.
Oh, sweet.
So it's like you can open it up, and then there's another lid that goes on top for the Instant Pot. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've been wanting to invest in a Traeger, or like a smoker, or a cool grill barbecue thing, but you know, I'm just never home. I'm always working, or I'm always out and about. So my air fryer comes everywhere with me.
I think if Traeger wants to sponsor me and give me a free grill, they're like $750.
Dude.
But I think that would be, I think it's almost like and it's not going to be a derogatory statement when I say it like this, but to me, it seems like it would be like the microwave of grills, because all you got to do is turn it on, and then it starts feeding the pellets in, and then it cooks your food, and then you turn it off. It's kind of like a gas grill, because we had a gas grill and it just kind of like disintegrated over time, because it just sits out, and you know, being in Indiana, we have all the seasons. So like it would sit in the wintertime, and it just basically fell apart. Like the gas lines rusted apart. So we don't have a grill right now. And I've been kind of like putting that feeler out there on a Traeger. It's like we found one, was like a scratch and dent one for like $500 the other day, but it was like $500. Yeah, that's still $500.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
And I know Joe Rogan lives and dies by his, and I'm like, wow, man, just you hook me up, man.
I know.
Because I'm poor,
I'll take
man.
A Traeger, and I'll advertise for free. Just give me a Traeger.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, I'd be like, I made cereal on my Traeger. I would eat it on everything. Like we've got like these rules, like these rule stores, like Rule King, and you can buy like the pellets by like the pallet load. Like you can buy a literal ton of the pallets for like $200.
So I didn't really look into like the grills yet, but what I've seen was that they have like a smart system. It connects to your phone and it lets you know. Is that all Traegers or is it just the newer ones, or do they have old school Traegers that don't do that?
I think all of their higher end ones have that capability, but I don't know. I don't know enough about them. It's like I just know like they have some like more affordable ones that are like $500, and they have some that are $750, $800, $900.
Yeah, because that's
I
what
imagine
sold me. That app stuff. I'm like, whoa, this is a smart grill. Like I would like the Lamborghini of Traegers. I want the fully decked out, freaking pellet yourself, cook it yourself, serve it yourself Traeger.
Oh yeah, that's what I want. Because I figure you can set it, and then that way I don't worry about my meat being overdone. Because I'm a very blue rare type of person. I like my meat as rare as possible. Not everybody in my house is on that train, but you know, I
feel it. I love rare too, man. That's the way to eat it.
That's how I cook it. Because my motto is, well, you can cook it more. You can cook more. You can put it in the microwave, or you can put it on the, but you can't uncook it. So,
exactly.
Exactly. So if it gets overcooked, then I'm like, I got to eat a tough steak, and you can put yours on the skillet for a little bit longer.
Do you ever mess with the sous vide? Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay. So do you ever make your steaks in there? I was thinking about picking one up and making some sous vide recipes, but what I've generally seen is that people would put it in there for a couple hours, get it nice and soft, and then sear it at the end. Is that generally what you do with the sous vide?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a bag version of like confit.
Oh, okay.
So like basically what you're doing is you're just putting it in a bag. I never had like the air sealer bag, so I just would use Ziplocs and just drop them in and let them be in there for like an hour. Basically, you just want to get them up to whatever your rare temperature is, so like 128 degrees or whatever. So you just want it in there long enough to get the meat to 128. Throw it on the skillet, hot skillet, sear it up, and you're good to go. That way, your middle isn't all cold.
Oh, okay.
So that's the same thing with confit. I have I think it's one of the YouTube shorts. I have a steak confit video where I take two steaks and I put them in avocado oil. So I cover them with avocado oil and some garlic, and I put it in the oven at 200 degrees until I put it in there a little longer. I put it in there for like an hour, maybe hour or two, I think. So they came out like medium, which is a little overdone for me, but they were still really tender. So you just take them out, you throw them on the skillet for a few seconds each side, and then you've got perfectly cooked steaks. Basically, a long way to do it's like a less precise but long-winded way of doing like a sous vide. And there is a really great sous vide channel. It's called Sous Vide Everything. That guy, he does some cool stuff.
Check him out. That sounds awesome. Yeah, so like I make my keto recipes, and some of them are really intricate, some of them are fancy, some of them more in depth. But basically, the majority of my diet is steak and eggs, and then more steak and eggs. Is that kind of what you do too?
Yeah, I mean beef and eggs, chicken. Because I mean, really simple's best. I mean, because if I'm making all these like days that I'm making these videos, it takes like a good amount of time. But I mean, if I'm taking the time to cook, I'm making enough to put back. So I'll make a big amount when I make the videos, even though they may not last very long.
Yeah.
So because we eat, man. So yeah, I mean, on a day to day, like tonight, I might make. My wife's at work. She'll be home around 8:00 my time. And so I'll probably throw in, just have some like chicken and make chicken and eggs, maybe a little bit of onion in it, and call it a day. Something super easy. And then I can make extra. She can take it to work tomorrow. Because we went to B-Dubs last night because they're one of the only places that cooks their wings and beef tallow instead of like hydrogenated oil. So
I didn't know that. I gotta go there more often.
Yeah. Now the sauces are all like soybean oil and all that stuff, but I mean,
Yeah.
you can be easy on the sauces. I mean, that's like you're probably having a couple, like I get my wings naked because if you let
Mhm.
them shake them up, then you're getting who knows how much. There's no real
Mhm.
way to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we get them naked and then we just dip them in the sauce. Like, I can get like the Caribbean jerk, which is like, I think it's like 10 grams of carbs per serving, but I'm barely using a full serving. So if my meal
Mm.
is 10 carbs, it's not that big of a deal. I'm gonna have a
Not big
diet,
deal.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
not, I mean, and that's like the cheat for us. I mean, is going out like that and having like BW3s or whatever. Or
Mhm.
last week we had Thai food, just
Mhm.
Asian food, man. I can't get enough of it.
I know, man. Like all that sweet and salty and bitter, like, all of it together is so awesome. And all the carbs, Asian carbs are the best, man. All the noodles and the rice and
Well, it's still better because I think, because if you look at, do you ever see the channel Serious Keto?
I think I've heard of them, but I haven't gotten too into the channel yet. No.
He's done a couple resistant starch videos where he
Mhm.
did rice, like cold rice that had been like cooked and then reheated, and how it affected his blood glucose and everything. And
Mm.
obviously it's nowhere near as bad as like wheat. So if you're gonna have like rice noodles, might as well go with the rice noodles instead
Yeah.
of like wheat noodles. And he just did tapioca starch,
Mhm.
and it didn't bump him up like 5 points.
Okay. Do you measure all your blood work and your day to day? Yeah, me neither.
Not day to day. I go based on feel. Like if I wake up
Mhm.
and I've got achy joints, I know I did something wrong, and
Mhm.
I have to
Do
think
you get
back.
the
But what did I
puffy
eat
face?
yesterday?
Do you ever get the puffy face? I know you have
Oh,
like an epic beard, but are you able to see through through the beard
oh,
sometimes?
I mean, I can feel it. I mean, I can feel it in my joints, man. I mean, that's the first
Mm.
thing I notice. Like, is my belly puffy? Is, do my knees bother me, or my finger joints will bother me too some days if I'm not on plan. Like when I'll like, oh, it'll just be like, oh, I guess I ate the wrong stuff yesterday, and I
Yeah.
and I've noticed that since the beginning. Like even if we like went crazy and ate too much keto stuff, or like especially like keto
Mhm.
treats and stuff, and not really the cleanest stuff,
Mhm.
you'll just really feel it in your joints. Just like, oh, so I mean, that to me right there shows me like if eating an abundance of stuff that is quote unquote keto can have that effect on my body, why would I risk going back to the normal food and then feeling like total garbage? Because I think
Mhm.
growing up, we didn't, at least I didn't know better. I grew up in a home where we ate Crisco and, all kinds of everything was breaded and, really
Same
cheap
here, man.
food and everything. So, you know, and you don't realize how bad you feel until you feel good.
Absolutely. I was about to ask you, did you ever notice your joints hurting beforehand, or were you so dulled to the joint pain, and then you realize, oh damn, I have joint pain, and now that I'm doing keto, it is relieved now. So I feel like people are in pain without knowing they're in pain
Oh,
until
dude,
they're out
definitely.
of the pain. Yeah, and
I was taking like 5 doses. I was taking like 5 doses a day, or like more than I should of ibuprofen. I was taking ibuprofen like 5 times a day,
mhm,
and which is no good.
mhm,
I was taking too much ibuprofen. I was taking like Benadryl like 5, 6 times a day. I was on omeprazole for a long time, so heartburn
mhm.
medication for a long time, and I don't take any of that stuff now. Like if I take like ibuprofen, it's because I have like a really bad headache or something, which is not too often,
Mhm.
or I have like hurt myself or something. You know what I mean? It's not like just to get through the day like it used to be. Because I mean, that was just I wake up. My routine was wake up, take my ibuprofen, take my Benadryl, take my omeprazole, and start my day. That was just to get me out the door. And then I had
Mhm.
other, like at my office, I had them in my drawer. I had more of it just in case.
Man, and you got all that since
Yep.
keto.
Mm-hmm. So I
Do you
don't have
track
like,
your carbs? Do you track your carbs throughout the day anymore? Do you do like 30 carbs, 50 carbs, under 20, or do you just go with the flow these days since you've been doing it so long?
mostly it's as close to zero as possible. So that's my, like, 0 would be a perfect day for me, like no carbs. So I'm having like just beef and eggs and maybe, I mean, I know there's some residual carbs and like heavy cream, but cream in my coffee in the morning. So, I mean, that might be maybe 3-4 carbs in the morning. And then if I have beef and then maybe like whatever might be in some onion or in some broccoli or whatever throughout, if I'm going to have something like that. But on a normal average day, I don't really track it because it's not, I mean, it would be negligible.
Yeah, because it's all coming from veggies and or fruit. Do you mess with fruit at all? Or do you eat it every once in a while?
I don't. I mean, every once in a while we'll have, like, when my granddaughter's over, she'll have me she'll eat like the cuties, little tangerine things, and she'll give me one of those. I might have one of those, like one little piece of tangerine, just to pacify her, to keep her happy. Paw, eat it, Paw. It's Nums, Paw.
Aww.
And I eat it, or our bite of apple every once in a while. But primarily we just give her berries and apples. And she likes eggs, and she's really big on eggs and cheese, and the chicken nuggets and stuff like that. So she's like a little keto baby.
Nice. So she's ready for your dino nuggets then.
Oh yeah. That's exactly. I mean, I want to make those for her because that's something that I can have in the fridge just to warm them up quick for her. I mean, because she eats eggs almost every day. Like, she'll eat 2 eggs and she's 2.5. Wow. So yeah. Dang. Well, she's wearing like a 4T. So, I mean, she's a big kid, but she's like, really, like, she seems really skinny, but she's not. She just seems like, I mean, and she's active and she's happy, and she's like, I mean, she naps like a normal normal toddler does, but she doesn't have like really violent mood swings or anything like that. Like, I think like a lot of the carb addicted kids do. Not really the crashes.
I haven't looked too much into keto and teenagers or preteens or kids and how it would work for them. I imagine it'd be good for them, but have you looked into that at all? Because I recommend keto to everyone who's an adult, and but I haven't looked too much into recommending it to kids yet. How do you feel about keto for kids?
I mean, realistically, kids kind of come out of the box, if you will, with like a very flexible they have a very flexible metabolism. They can go from sugar to carb very easily, like carbs and sugar to fat adapted very easily, because they're not so inundated yet where their systems are totally jacked up by years and years of only carbs and not really being able to burn fat. I think as a child, I don't see, them having the fruit and veggies and carrots and the occasional French fries and stuff, because those are obvious things that are easy to feed to kids, and they like French fries. And, they know what McDonald's is. And I don't see a real reason to not give that to them every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I think their foundation should be in like a keto foundation. I mean, I think all of us really should. And I know that everybody says that, well, everybody's different. Keto won't work for everybody. I mean, I think if it's not working for you, it's probably something that you're doing that's not making it work for you. And I mean, I know I think that's a big, broad statement. And there's probably doctors out there who would probably disagree with me. And I'm sure there's some out there who would stand up and clap. But I think doing anything you can do to make your diet different from the standard American is going to do you a lot of good. Like, even people, when they go vegan at first, they see a lot of benefits, and they may not be getting enough actual like bioavailable protein, but I think they're good. I mean, they're not eating as much. I mean, you can be a total trash vegan too and eat like just vegan chili dogs all day too. But I mean,
but it's better than the standard McDonald's every day.
Yeah.
That they are doing, like, I guess, not getting enough protein on vegan. It's still better than the standard American diet.
Right.
Yeah, I think I would agree with you. I just anecdotally, all the people I've recommended and I see on keto, the majority of them do better overall on keto. So I can't cite any studies or look at, or I haven't referenced any papers, but just from my own anecdotal evidence, I think keto works for the majority of people.
It really does. I've had countless people who've come to me to get them started, and I'm like, look, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I do. And if you make this work for you, you will see results. And 50% of people really see results and continue. Some people really kind of have, they don't wholeheartedly jump into it. So they may not necessarily see the results they expect to see. They may think they're doing it as strict as they think, but they're not. So they're not necessarily seeing the results. And I'm not like a licensed dietitian. I'm not getting paid to watch everything they do. So it's really difficult for me to know exactly what they aren't doing. Are they telling me the truth? So I've like my brother like cured his fatty liver with keto, like quick too. Like, the awesome. Doctor diagnosed him with fatty liver, and in the time he got diagnosed, he needed to have his gallbladder removed.
Wow.
And at the time of getting diagnosed to like going and having the gallbladder removed, I think it was like 3 months. I think he was able to like pretty much knock out his fatty liver. So, it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, man, there's something there to it. So, I think that's why I love what you're doing and what other keto channels are doing, because the more you kind of talk about it and the more people do it, the more cool recipes come out, the cooler ways to do keto come out. Like we might discover ways to do keto that we didn't know were possible. Like maybe there's a plant that has a lot of protein that we haven't discovered yet, or that's very niche that is amazing, and I want to know what that plant is. I want to hear about that plant, and maybe I can turn that to like a lasagna someday.
Oh yeah, there's that palomi plant, like the heart of palm.
Palomi, let me write that down.
It's like I think that's the brand name. I started finding it at Walmart. It's like heart of palm. I actually use it. There's a lasagna noodle. There's a lasagna and then like a linguine shape. And they come in cans, and you can find them at Walmart's. Maybe if not at your local Walmart, you can like have it shipped to you from other ones.
Okay, look into that.
And it's really low carb. And I made like keto hamburger helper out of the bigger noodles, the lasagna noodles. I cut them down and made keto hamburger helper. So, and that was really good. Like, my teenage boy devoured that. He ate almost all of it. And I made a huge batch. He's like a bottomless pit. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like food goes quick in your house. You made like a whole thing of, what was that, hash browns that were gone the next day?
Oh man, I make those. Like before, like right when the pandemic started, there was like 7 people living in my house. And so I would cook that much on a normal night. And now there's just 3 of us, and I'll cook that when I'm making things like that, because I hope that maybe it'll go in the fridge and it'll last. But I'll make chaffles. I'll make like 26 chaffles, and then I'll eat those for a couple of days, and those will last. My boy, he eats tons of food, so I try to keep everything in the house, like lunch meat and stuff, to keep him kind of satiated and keeping him from throwing me out of the house.
Yeah, yeah. Those quick keto recipes are awesome too. Where they make like a sandwich out of the deli meat, and then the lettuce, and then whatever condiment is in there. The quick keto stuff is awesome too. Sometimes I do that when I don't have time for like the steak and eggs or the complicated keto recipe people make. And I kind of just want to get that out there too. There's such easy ways to do keto. At work, I'll just order like a double cheeseburger with no buns and call it a lunch. And I think people are getting used to that. The lunch ladies are now like, okay, this is a normal thing. We don't have to put buns on everything. The drive-through peeps at Jack in the Box, like, oh, okay, we've seen this 100 times now. So I think keto is becoming much more mainstream now. What was that? Carl's Jr. has their own keto burger. In-N-Out has their protein style.
Oh, I'm excited for In-N-Out. So I'm going to Texas at the end of the month.
Yeah.
I'm heading to Texas April 30th, and I'm gonna be in Dallas, and there's In-N-Out Burger there, and I'm super excited. I haven't had no, I haven't had it since the last time I had it was 2016. I had just become keto. It was like December that year.
Mhm.
I'd been keto for a couple of months and went down to visit a buddy of mine, and they had just really kind of opened up those In-N-Out burgers there. So we were able to get In-N-Out Burger, but I've had it in like California, and I've had it in Arizona, Nevada.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're an In-N-Out fan.
Oh, really? I am a huge In-N-Out fan. Yeah,
that's dope. Because when people come to California and they talk all this smack about In-N-Out, I'm like, dude, that's my religion. You need to chill out.
Well, I tell you, like when we were leaving Alabama last year, like we went to Gulf Shores in July, and on the way out, we hit Whataburger because that's a place I've only had a handful of times.
I still haven't tried it. I need to go.
Oh, it's kind of, I mean, to me, it's not as good as In-N-Out, but it's different from In-N-Out. And I got like the full big burger with the bun and everything on vacation. I got the French fries. Their French fries are good. That's like In-N-Out fries are not my favorite fries. They're good, but I mean, and I'm okay with it. They're not that great because I'll get, I'll get my my 4x2 protein style,
Yeah. Have you had the animal style fries?
No.
They're not too bad. They turned the cardboard fries into something edible. They pretty much put a thing of American cheese on top, some, I believe they're grilled onions and Thousand Island, put in the microwave, and it's amazing, man. I take that and I put it in the burger itself, and I just chomp on that all day. Like, I know you're keto, but I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you if you had a bun with your In-N-Out.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like, I don't get In-N-Out, but like every 5-6 years when we would go to Vegas, we would always stop in In-N-Out. Now there's one finally on the strip, so you don't have to like go off strip to get one. So In-N-Out's a huge one for me. Like, I'm not a huge fast food person.
Okay.
And I mean, we used to like a dinner for us on a normal night was drive through a Taco Bell. $20 at Taco Bell feeds the whole family for the night, And I think, I mean, they're missing an opportunity by not doing low carb tortillas.
I think so too, man. I think every place should have a low carb option or keto option because friend groups are mixed with health nuts and non-health nuts now. And I think, they make a ton of money getting all those keto folks in there. Like, I think
they would go gangbusters, man. Like, they would be like revitalized. Like, so there's a little pizza place in our town here, and I never had their pizza before going keto, but after being keto for a while, they had their own keto crust. They have they use fathead dough. And then they have a variation of the fathead dough for their breadsticks. So they've got keto pizza, keto breadsticks. They use the dough for their breadsticks for sandwiches. Then they have, like, if you come in, they have a salad bar. And if you're sitting there, they have keto soups. So usually like 4 soups, 2 non-keto, 2 keto soups, like cheddar broccoli or hamburger soup or cheeseburger soup or whatever. So they'll have all of that. Then they have like a case full of like keto desserts.
What?
Like, yeah, we go in there every once in a while. Dude, it's like, and I'm like, I don't understand why, why hasn't, Pizza Hut done this, or why hasn't Domino's done this? And I know the cost is different because this place sells like a medium pizza for like $15, where I'm sure like their normal medium pizza is probably like $6 or $7 or something like that. But I mean, I get the price difference, but there's nothing better than going out on a night, like a date night, and getting a pizza. Yeah.
No, pizza's my favorite, man.
And being on plan.
On my cheat days, I go in on the fast food. I told you I'm a foodie, but I'm like a super simple foodie. I go for the McDonald's. I go for the In-N-Out. I go for the Taco Bell. I do the Domino's. I love Costco pizza. That's my jam too. That's that. Oh my
God. They're Costco hot dogs, dude.
Yeah, Costco hot, and the churros when they're fresh churros are.
I don't think I've ever had their churros.
it's a hit or miss, man. Sometimes they sit under the heat lamps too long and they kind of mess up the roof of your mouth, and sometimes they're nice and buttery soft. It's a gamble with those churros.
So I've never had an actual churro. Do you ever have a Disneyland churro?
No, well, man, maybe 12 years ago when I was like in high school.
I'm a big Disney nerd, so I've never been to Disneyland, but I love what Disney World. We were supposed to go this year, but everything going as it is, it's not happening. So I don't want to go and wear a mask and stand in like 4-hour lines and stuff.
I know, man. I can't wait until we stop wearing masks. I wear like one of those N95 masks at work at least 9 out of the 12-hour day. So my face is just all ripped up and I'm getting pimples all over. And I just can't wait for the day where I just don't have to wear the mask anymore. But you know, it's a small price to pay if I can do Disneyland. I'll do Disneyland for a mask, you know.
Well, they're opening up, and I think they're like, you can't scream on the rides. I'm like, how are you going to police that? How are you going to police that?
I don't know. They're just
California is weird, man. I don't know how you live there.
I agree with you, man. I've looked at moving out so many times this pandemic. I was just like, you know, at first I was like, oh hell yeah, let's do it. Let's lock down. We locked down quick. I was like, hell yeah. So we had to do something else now. We had to be smart. We can sure social distance, wear masks, but the crazy lockdowns in California, I'm just baffled that we're still doing it. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. People are kind of speaking up about it, and we're supposedly opening up in June. So let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, like I think they've even removed our mask mandate here, but I think most businesses are still following the mask mandate, just having masks anyway. So
yeah, and what makes sense, you know, like just because the government isn't going to fine you or arrest you doesn't mean you won't do the common sense thing to do. You know, you'll still wear the mask. Like I heard people in Texas, they still wear masks. Some business still mandate it, but it's just kind of weird that the government can just come in and tell you or force you to do something, you know. I don't know. It's a complicated subject. It's a complicated situation. Sure. That's why I bring it back to keto. Like, it's so important. Like, if we were all more healthy, this wouldn't have affected us as much, you know, and we wouldn't have to sustain so much, I don't know, death. We could have maybe gone the other direction. I mean, you can't do anything about your age, but you can do something about your health. So,
of course.
Yeah. So I hope there's some health mandate. I don't like mandates, actually. Let's have like a health movement.
Yeah.
Like, for example, my dad, he's older. He's 65. He's a heavy smoker, had a prior heart attack. You know, I'm like, Dad, hell yeah, you need that vaccine, you know? My mom and I, we're just like, we're healthy. I got abs. It's going to roll off of me, you know?
I've got abs. It's not going to affect me.
Oh, that sounds really bad. And I don't want to diminish anyone's like suffering from COVID, but I described it like this to my dad. I'm like, Dad, for you, it's like fire insurance, you know? But for me, it's like volcano insurance, like volcano on Mars insurance. It's the volcano will most not likely erupt for me. You know, I think I already had it too. So, and I've been meaning to get one of those antibody tests to see if I've had it before or not. So I just hope all this COVID vaccine passport talk kind of goes away. I've been
that terrifies me. Yeah, I don't want to have to show. I don't want to have to show somebody that I've been vaccinated to go to a concert or get on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you do if you're going overseas now, if you're going internationally or whatever. I think you have to have one of those. But like, I'm flying at the end of the month and I'm like, well, I've never even been tested or anything, you know? I mean, I don't leave the house.
Yeah.
I've never had any symptoms. I've never had any. I mean, like there was a stomach bug that went through our house last week, or like the end of last week. And I didn't even get it. Like everybody, it went like down the line. Everybody had this. They were down. They were tired. They were sick. They were throwing up and doing all that stuff. Just normal, you know, springtime bug kind of stuff, I guess. But it didn't hit me. I was the only one was like kept on moving. I was just taking care of everybody.
Yeah. Oh, I
You
feel
know?
that. Like, I think the vaccines overall are a net positive, right? I'm totally glad we have the tool. But sometimes you just don't hammer a nail with the saw, and everyone doesn't need the hammer right now. Some people might just need a diet. Some people just might
But
need to watch their health, and it's just so complicated. It's such a big thing to take and put into your body if you have no or very low benefit. It's for me. I'm a young guy, 28 years old. I feel like it's a high risk, low reward thing to do, but I understand the benefit of a vaccine. I love the fact that we have the technology. I love the fact that we made it so fast. I love the fact that it's helping us get out of the pandemic. But man, we need to chill out with that vaccine passport talk.
of course. I mean, even like just the get healthy side of it, like during all this, there was never, well, let's look at what kind of nutrition stuff that we have, because I think nobody looks at food as a means of getting healthy. Everybody looks at, well, if you're not taking medicine, if you're not taking everybody talks about, well, this drug didn't work for me, and this drug didn't work for me, and this drug didn't work for me, and I'm still having these symptoms. I'm like, well, what else have you tried? Have you tried changing your diet? Have you tried an elimination diet? But that stuff is so like foreign or scary to people that they wouldn't even know where to begin, or they just think like they think that like I'm just pushing keto on them or whatever, right? So, I mean, I think that
like if you like do jumping jacks and drink a lot of water and cut out soda, that might just give you like major life benefits. So it could, like, keto is definitely like my favorite thing to prescribe to people or recommend. But man, even cutting out soda would be a great benefit to people. But yeah, once again, like I don't want to like downplay the benefits of the vaccine. I think it's a great tool, but I just don't think it's a one size fit all for everyone. But man, dieting fits a lot of people, or having a healthy lifestyle choice fits a lot of people. Anyone can do it. Anyone, even if you're broke, you can still. It's not the healthiest thing because it's preservatives, but you can still go to your Jack in the Box and get a burger with no buns if you're really backed up on time or backed up on money. Just go get a burger with no buns. Go get a chicken sandwich with no buns. Get a salad and buy a cheap protein shake, and see how like much your life changes because of that. And I think one mistake people do make about keto is that like they consider it a diet. I just try to let them know, hey, think of it as a lifestyle. Like, don't think of it as like a 2-month diet. You get lean or ripped or thinner, and then you go back to your old lifestyle. I don't think it works like that. You have to just maintain it for at least the majority, or 70, 60%. You can't just go back to pounding beers and like swallowing burgers whole. You just gotta.
I think, and I hate to say that I'm lucky, because whenever you get to be like 400 and some pounds, it's not luck. But I think with the mentality that I had at the time, having so much weight to lose going into it, I know my mindset was, well, once I lose all this weight, I'm going to be back to normal and I can do what I want. But I was lucky in the fact that I had so much weight to lose, and I still haven't even hit all my goals, and it's been 5 years, right? But I was able to learn and grow and understand what I was doing it for and the benefits besides weight loss, that I was able to go, okay, weight loss isn't the end all be all. Weight loss is merely another symptom in a long line of things that are causing us problems. So if I can lose weight and then I've added all these other benefits, I'm off these medications, now I know that I'm not going to stop doing this long term. I think that's where I was lucky. If I was somebody that only had like 20 pounds to lose, I may never have learned that.
Oh, I feel that. Like, I feel like if the pandemic never hit, I would have never gotten this serious about keto. I did it out of necessity. Like, I thought I was going to get hit hard by COVID because I work with it so much. And in the beginning, we didn't have all the resources we needed, or there was like a national global shortage, right? So even if we did, I thought we weren't. So I also was lucky that I kind of got forced into it, but I forced myself into it. No one really forced me, but I wanted to get as healthy as I could be to challenge the world, challenge the disease, you know? So yeah, maybe sometimes it takes a big life event to do this kind of lifestyle because it's so ingrained in our culture to indulge, to eat that dozen Krispy Kremes and then go get a Jamba Juice after and then swallow a double, you know?
Just to wrap this up, and I appreciate you being on here. Is there anything you want to promote? Do you want to put your social media information out there, your Instagram? Are you on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on everything but Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, and I'm on YouTube at Beewinns, Beewinns, at Beewinns. And
Awesome.
I do a bunch of keto recipes, mostly Asian-related keto recipes. And thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. It was a good talk.
And I'll put everything in the description down below. As always, thanks again, everybody, so much for watching. Your continued support means a lot to me. And we'll see you next time.